A grown-ass man in a heavy metal t-shirt just went to see a child's movie. How ironic is that? No, jokes aside, I believe that Inside Out 2 is overall a family film, and there are some things that adults can actually relate to it, but I digress. What's up, everybody? It is Zach of the Dark Con Entertainment YouTube channel, and I'm here to give you my thoughts and opinions about Inside Out 2, as I just saw that in movie theaters right now. And might I just say, opening up, anxiety is the worst. I know that there are other people that think that she is a good character or whatever, but not only does the character itself, anxiety in this movie, really annoy the shit out of me to where I just want to strangle her, but I also hate the concept and emotion that she represents, and that being, well, the name says it, anxiety, as I have fought with that all throughout my adult years primarily. So yeah, but at the same time, I gotta say that my dislike of the character is in a way that the character services the movie. It's kind of like Denethor from Lord of the Rings. Everybody hates Denethor from Lord of the Rings. But in a way, Denethor also at the same time is one of those characters that you hate, but also services the movie at the same time. And what does he service in Lord of the Rings? Is that he gives a little bit of conflict to one of the characters of having father issues, that being Faramir, and is also the corrupt politician who is so power hungry that he prevents the earlier calling of reinforcements from Rohan for the aid of Gondor, so therefore is making the ultimate battle of Minas Tirith more harsh, to say in short. But I kind of digress. Well, actually, to expound on this a little bit more, let's take an example like Jar Jar Binks. That is a character that everybody hates, but at the same time, he does not really service the story in any real good way. I mean, he acts as a guide for Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan towards the beginning, but that's about it. Overall, doesn't really service the movie. So it's kind of one of those bad, hateable characters, whereas Anxiety is one of those service of the movie kind of hateable characters, in my book at least anyways. I don't care if she... This is a very mild spoiler. Might I emphasize, mild spoiler, but still, you have been warned. She gets redeemed at the end. I don't care that she gets redeemed. I still don't like Anxiety. Annoying, and really represents what I, the one emotion that I honestly hate the most anyways. But, aside from that, and the anime character that seems like a Final Fantasy ripoff, I can't even remember the anime character's name that they show eventually in this movie, but it's like a call to Cloud from Super Smash Bros. I mean, I got the reference, and on paper, it seemed cool, seemed like something that I would like, because I like to play as Cloud a lot whenever I play Super Smash Bros. But ultimately, I didn't really care for the character that much. And also, everybody also admits that Envy, as an addition for all the characters in this movie, did not really service the plot at all. She did not even feel that envious, or even added that much to the enviousness of Riley, for that matter. It seemed like Envy wasn't even bitter about the fact that people have things that Riley does not, which is what ultimately that envy is supposed to be. At least the truest form of envy, anyways. It was more like envy was complimentary towards everybody. Oh, your hair is so cool. This is so cool. I like your clothes, or whatever else have you. It wasn't she was a true representation of envy. But aside from those three characters, not a single bad character that I can say in this movie at all. Sadness was her regular, endearing self. Embarrassment was a lovable, big old fuzzball. That kind of tropey character never gets old for me. Fear and disgust, they also have their bits as well. Especially Fear when he pulls a parachute out. That was a hoot. And not to mention Bluefy, who is a parody of Dora the Explorer. I got a real big kick out of that, especially with the way that Anger would kind of bounce off of and react to him. I feel like Anger was my spirit animal, honestly, because I hated Dora the Explorer whenever I would see my other siblings watch the series or whatever. Like, Dora is just so obnoxious, and to see Bluefy as a parody representation in the movie of Dora, and have Anger as my stand-in for how I feel about Dora, or the representation of Dora, was just so fun and funny and cathartic to watch. And his reaction to Pouchy as well, which was an obvious call to backpack, Dora's backpack. That was fun. And Joy is obviously her regular old bubbly and overly happy self uh, that has her overly toxic positivity kind of general mood, and which adds weight to the moments of when that she'll have like a serious moment, kind of similar to the first one. But in the second one, there was like this one part of when that Anger says that she's delusional with her happiness, and she just snaps out of her toxic positivity and just turns around and gives a serious look that makes me go like, oh shit, because I had never seen this look on Joy ever before, like in the second movie or the predecessor. And she also breaks down, has a little bit of an emotional breakdown in that moment, and Anger kind of emotionally picks her back up. Like he like uncharacteristically, well, yeah, he kind of uncharacteristically gives her some emotional support, and it just all culminates to a legitimately good moment in the movie. And honestly, it kind of makes me think that I wish that there would have been more bouncing off of both happiness and anger, because aside from maybe sadness, you cannot get any further diametrically opposed emotions than happiness and anger. And it would have been like more fun to see them interact and bounce off of each other more in this journey, but hey, that one moment was at least good for what it's worth anyways. And I guess some other flaws with the movie would be, obviously there was like the world building aspects of it. I mean, which can be like a little bit of a double-edged sword with the world of Inside Out. Like, it's a cool concept. There are some cool world building concepts, but the world building can also bring in some question of plot holes. There was like at least two that I noticed live while I was watching the movie, but I cannot remember exactly what they were right now. In fact, there was some other things that I want to commentate on, some good things that I want to commentate on, but I cannot remember precisely exactly what they were. But you cannot take notes in the theater while you are like watching it. You cannot take notes on your phone or whatever. I mean, it's taboo. It's gonna ruin the immersion for everyone else. It's rude, you know. But anyway, so yeah, plot holes, just like the first one. There might have been even some additional ones in the second one. And honestly, it's a little bit of a personal gripe that I have with the movie, but from the very first trailer that I saw for this movie, I couldn't help but feel a little bit bugged about the fact that of how that they are like adding more characters to the movie. I mean, Bing Bong is dead. Like anyone who has seen the first Inside Out, obviously knows that he was dead, and he was like probably one of the best characters in the first movie. So it's not like they could have brought him back. So what do? They bring in forth more emotions. But it also makes me go wondering, wait, aren't some of these emotions like sub categorical emotions under the main five emotions, that being anger, joy, sadness, fear, and disgust? I mean, couldn't embarrassment be considered like a sub emotion of fear, and maybe even disgust to us? Maybe even a combination of fear and disgust to a certain extent, and also anxiety too, for that matter. Couldn't anxiety also be like a subcategorical emotion of fear as well, or even a combination of both fear and sadness? I mean, we even have like moments in this movie of where that sadness goes saying her own worries of the future, of what disasters could be laid hold for the entire world that these emotions live in, that being in Riley's head. So it it just bugs me a little bit. Like, I don't think that they needed to add new emotions. These five prime emotions could have like served the purpose of all these emotions, but hey, whatever. I guess whatever is required in order to get in more characters, and it is ultimately whatever at the end of the day. It's just a personal nitpick that I have anyways. It's not a biggie, but And so, yeah, I think that's all that I have to say about this movie. Although there is at least one more thing that I have to add. There was no gay stuff in this movie. All right, I mean, yeah, all the LGBT activists that had their fan theories about how Riley's a lesbian, all that other stuff. Like, yeah, I personally can be kind of annoyed with that too at times. But that's the thing. We can only be annoyed at the activists themselves, not Pixar themselves, because Pixar did not show it, at least not explicitly. Much less did they do it in a super cringe way, in the same way that Disney executed with Strange World. And it's not. Again, I cannot stress enough that the idea of gay inclusion itself is not that big a deal. It's just a matter of execution for me personally. But for all of the super duper traditional conservatives that don't want absolutely any gay stuff at all, period, point blank, in their movies, don't worry, it wasn't included in the movie, whatever. I mean, but anyway, what am I gonna say? Solidly a funny movie, and it also continues to show a lot of the complexities of emotions through mostly just visuals rather than words, the same way that the first movie did. And you'll just have to see the movie yourself to see it, to have it explained. It's likely worthy of talking about and further with another person on a live stream, which is probably what I'm going to do later this weekend with Loudmouth Reviews. Go ahead and review this movie with him later on. So keep an eye out for that, folks. And we might even give a little bit of review to every Pixar movie as well, and maybe give us our own personal rankings, or at least I'm going to give my own personal ranking. But anyway, 7 out of 10, almost about as good as the first one. Maybe not quite as good, but still, they're both generally 7 out of 10s in that general range. But 7 out of 10, a really family-friendly, funny movie. Aside from maybe of how scattershot and messy I thought that it was towards the beginning of the movie, but yeah, that was another slight flaw. But anyway, I'm rambling as it is right now. Better just end this while I can. Thank you all for watching this video right here. Go ahead and check out Inside Out 2. I would personally recommend it, especially if you're a big Pixar fan like I am, kind of, and grew up with Toy Story and all that other stuff. But anyway, good night. Have a good day and good week and everything else. And see you next time. God bless.